Hello, everybody. Welcome to Arsenal X, the Xbox podcast here on Boss Rush Games, our first live show of 2021. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Derrigan. Alongside me, as always, is the wise Wisconsinite, Mr. Jesse Douglas.
How's it going, everyone?
He's playing Skater XL, everyone. Also joining us is Colonel Panic himself, Mr. Joe Wilson.
Hi.
What was that?
Got a
New camera, new voice.
I hit puberty over the weekend. That's what I wanted for Christmas, and I got it.
Nice.
Wow.
Did you get your 2 front teeth, too?
Oh, gosh.
No.
Still waiting.
In that fourth chair, as always, Odin's Raven himself, Mr. Josh Finney.
Hey, guys.
Wasn't too bad of a nickname this year. It's better than the one I gave you yesterday.
It is better than the one you gave me
I don't
yesterday.
even remember the one I gave you yesterday. That's how...
I remember being disgruntled with it.
You've been disgruntled about every nickname I've ever witnessed. You've been gifted.
I'm a pretty disgruntled individual.
No, he
fair.
likes... His favorite one is the Mayor of the Deepstone Crypt. So,
that one a lot.
So, how's everyone doing? It's been a couple weeks.
Very, very well, thank you.
Doing good.
I felt naked last weekend.
It's only been a week, right? But it's genuinely felt like a month since we've done this. Maybe that's my old
really
age.
has been. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's only been 2 weeks. So, yeah. I mean, I split the last episode in half because it was almost 3 hours. So, double the listens. But everybody have a good holiday, good Christmas, good Hanukkah. Not to sound semi-racist, but I don't think anybody here celebrates Kwanzaa. I think we're all pretty, pasty. It's fine.
Hey, I'll celebrate anything.
Well.
That's how I live my life. I'll celebrate whatever you want to celebrate. I'll celebrate it. But I had a pretty good. Mine was pretty chill for the most part. Just a lot of spending time with family and honestly just staying off of social media is basically it was kind of nice.
Yeah.
Like just not really worrying about anything else other than just focusing on doing stuff with family and all that.
Yeah.
And just being in Upper Michigan and enjoying that it actually looked like Christmas right before Christmas, because I was, for sure we weren't going to get any snow this year because it's just been so mild. But
it's been that kind of year.
Yeah.
But guess what, guys? The Browns highlight of my vacation / long weekend / holiday. The Browns going to the playoffs for the first time since 2002. Since 2002, guys. 2002. You know how old I was in 2002? I don't. I was in 10th grade. How old are you in 10th grade? 15, 14, 13,
15.
14, something like that. Josh, then you informed me that you were in 4th grade, and then I just felt really old then. So
I was. Corey, that was the year after 9/11. I was in the 4th grade.
It's true.
Wow, that was a long time ago.
I know. 18
And
years
to
ago,
answer your
some would say.
pre-show
19
questions,
years.
the Dolphins are the team that missed out.
Well.
Unfortunately.
From Ace Ventura?
Yeah. Yes,
God.
that Dolphins team.
God.
Finkel is Einorin guy. Oh.
Dan Marino
Spoilers.
was out, had COVID.
Isotoner gloves.
Okay,
The
so
laces were
I
out.
got isotoner slippers for Christmas, and they are genuinely the most comfortable fucking things I've ever put on my feet.
I will say anything lined with an isotoner lining genuinely is warm and comfy.
I didn't
Isotoner.
know that slippers could come with memory foam in them. And
Oh,
let me
yeah.
tell you something. These OJ slippers are the greatest things
Oh,
I have
God.
ever worn in my life.
OJ slippers.
OJ slippers.
Were they too
Are they-
So
small?
mine have a plaid pattern on them. They look like fucking OJ slippers.
Would you kill someone for them? Are they that comfortable?
Maybe.
They fit.
My slippers are right here, and they are genuine, moccasin slippers. They're what are they called? Minnetonkas.
They're so comfortable. And let me tell you, that may be the single best Christmas present I've gotten in years.
Wow. Wow.
I am a robe and one disgruntled kid in my lawn away from becoming my dream old man.
I need a lawn, and I would be there.
And a porch.
Well, I think it was last year.
I have a slab.
You yell people to get out of your parking lot? Those young kids get out of your parking lot?
Stop skateboarding!
You know
Just
what's
don't
not
jump on the fence.
You know what's not comfortable is this jersey. I wore it to celebrate tonight.
Corey, take it off.
I'm going to.
Yeah, he told us right before the show. He's like, I just wore this so good and uncomfortable so I could take it off during the show.
Corey, take it off.
I would like to show my nipples on
lose our
Twitch.
sex appeal.
Not allowed.
Yeah. He's got masking tape on
I
him.
may have described Corey as my main piece and not my side piece in the group chat earlier.
Yeah. Yep.
Maybe later. I don't want to blow our load at the beginning of the show. Do you know what I mean?
Well, save it for OnlyFans.
You gotta tease some people. You gotta leave them something to watch for. You know, it's not like on YouTube where they can just scroll ahead. You gotta make them watch. Gotta make them wait. It's better when you wait.
I hate it so much.
That's at 18 minutes and 43 seconds if you want to hear what Corey's nipples sound like.
Oh God. Do they sound like something? Is that
I assume like as soon as they're revealed, there's a bell.
They sound like
I pierced my nipples, but instead of like those studs, I just put bells on each side. So when I
Jesus fucking Christ,
it's festive for the holidays.
Yeah,
I hate
jingle
all
bells.
of these.
You know what I mean?
For the love of
You gotta
God,
go
please tell me Greg has a food question to distract us.
He does, but I'm into this nipple jingle bells thing now, so we gotta wait. Oh man! All right, I'll get to our good listener Greg Osterman III did write in a food question. He says, "Does it hurt to have jingle bells dangling from your nipples?" No.
God damn it! No.
Used to it.
No, he says, "Greetings from 2021, gentle duders. You know the drill. We all had a great holiday food and snacks. What was the meal you ate on Christmas and New Year's?" So while you guys answer that question, I'm going to take off this jersey because it is itchy and hot, and I'm not feeling it, guys. Not feeling it. So, Josh, take it away.
Go first. Yep.
For what now? My Christmas meal
And New Year's, both. He wants both, Josh.
So Christmas we did a honey baked ham with mashed potatoes, broccoli, steakhouse seasoned green beans, crescent rolls, and beer.
Were the crescent rolls grands or like a can?
They were extra butter grands.
Okay.
Because that's the only way to go. If that fat fuck isn't on there, I'm not buying them. Woohoo! Yeah. If there's not a fat fucking white guy on there, I'm not buying them. That's how you know that they're good.
So, my picture's on all of your crescent roll boxes.
Yeah.
It's me shirtless holding a fucking pan
With jingle bell nipples.
And a hat.
Yeah, there you go.
A hat matches my skin tone.
New Year's, on the other hand, because Chelsea had to work New Year's, so I had a wonderful DiGiorno heat up pizza.
Nice. Hey, those some of them are pretty good.
Listen,
sometimes
I can get down with some DiGiorno. Okay, DiGiorno, if you're listening to this, please give me some love.
There's stuff, bacon cheddar stuffed crust. Or the bacon cheese stuffed crust pizza.
The buffalo chicken pizza from them is nothing short of a godlike find in the frozen food section. So that was my New Year's meal, Greg. I hope I didn't disappoint your foodie heart too much.
And their new croissant crust is really good.
Corey, when you buy crescent rolls, do you buy Grands or do you buy some other brand?
Oh, we buy Grands. Who buys generic
that's what I'm saying.
rolls?
If there's not a fat white guy on there, I'm not buying them.
Yeah. If he doesn't go when you tickle his belly, I don't want nothing. I don't want any of
It'd be
it.
fun to listen to
when
this because that happened twice now.
Oh.
Yeah, and when you and if it doesn't scare the living shit out of you when you open the canister.
Yeah, if it doesn't
Chelsea won't open them. Most of the people in my family won't, but they give it to me, and it's just like my dad says that he thinks I take out my aggression on him because he was like, "Here, Josh, you go open them, but go to the other end of the kitchen to do it." So like I felt like I was in that Twisted Tea video. I just flipped it in my hand once, bam, on the counter, and it burst open. That's just, man, if you can't do it in one solid crack, you got to get working. You gotta work out those hands.
I feel like
nothing
we
like
need
a
to make
solid
a video
crack.
of someone unwrapping one, and then like it has to have like that nuclear explosion, and it cuts back to the kitchen, and they're just covered in like crescent roll unbaked goo.
We should do funny videos for the intros to every single one of the video versions of the podcast. That would take a lot of time.
Yeah, we would need to do episodes once a month.
Yeah. So, still, be fun, be great. Who did everybody go? Did I miss anything?
No, Josh
took
the entire
I'm
time
done.
so far.
Jesse, what did you eat on Christmas Day?
So I pretty much had the same thing for the most part. Like it was pretty much ham. We had, like with the pineapple and cherries on the outside, the pineapple rings or whatever. We did that whole thing. And then my mother-in-law makes some really good cinnamon applesauce, like homemade type stuff. And then what else? There was some. She makes a cinnamon applesauce and then cranberry, I think, applesauce as well or something. Usually every year. And yeah, we had ham this year. Usually, honestly, we have, like I said, we usually have the Cornish hens, but we just had some ham this year, which I was perfectly fine with because I always love some good ham.
Every time somebody says they have a Cornish hen, I always feel like they're telling a joke because I've never seen or eaten a Cornish hen. I always feel like
it's just a small chicken. It's a personal chicken.
I feel like
taste like
Say
chicken?
you had small chickens.
Yeah, yeah. It's basically.
Why
basically
are they
tastes
hens and why are they
exactly like
Cornish?
why are you British all of a sudden? I governor I like a Cornish hen. I like it with a spotted tea and some grubbits.
Oi, governor!
Yeah.
Weasley.
Oh, God.
Hey, I don't know what these things are. I just eat them.
Oh, they're like tiny chickens.
But yeah, so it was pretty basic for Christmas. But New Year's we just ended up ordering from Pizza Hut. We had some stuffed crust pizza from Pizza Hut.
When you
Stuffed
get,
crust pizza.
I guess stuffed crust is its own thing. Do you normally go stuffed crust because there's also pan, thin and crispy.
I'll be
hand-tossed.
honest. When it's Pizza Hut, I only eat stuffed crust there. Honestly, Pizza Hut's like one of my least favorite places. I honestly like Domino's over Pizza Hut.
Mm-hmm.
But like we have too many good places around here that for pizza wise, like we have a Jets Pizza. It's like the only one in the entire state, but we have a Jets Pizza by us that, like, if you have a Jets Pizza, like by far you get the BLT there, and it is seriously the best pizza ever. Their BLT pizza, so good. But yeah. So, like ours was pretty easy, but it was we let the kids stay up until 11 and we ate pizza and watched movies and stuff, and then watch the New York ball drop or whatever. It would ends up being 11 o'clock our time, and called it a night. I don't need to stay up until midnight. Like I figure once it's New Year's and somewhere in the U.S. it's technically New Year's everywhere. It's good enough for me.
Spoken like a true American.
Let me tell you,
somewhere in the U.S. it's official.
Let me tell you. On New Year's Eve, I went to bed at 9:50.
Oh, same, hard same.
It was awesome, and I woke up at.
I was in bed at 8:45, and I've never felt more alive.
Yeah, I know. I woke up. My kid woke me up at 9:15 on New Year's Day, so it was awesome. I haven't slept as in the last 2 weeks. I haven't slept this much ever. Maybe it's awesome.
It
was pretty glorious.
It's overrated staying up.
I know.
Oh yeah, I thought you were talking about sleeping, and I was like,
Yeah,
Oh,
me
no.
too. I was like, whoa,
No.
whoa now. We need to stop with the personal attacks here.
it literally sustains you.
Well, there were times in my life where I felt like sleep was overrated. For probably a good 10 years, I probably would get maybe a max of 4 hours a day.
Yeah, it's called your 20s. Enjoy it, Josh.
Well, it was
I left that life
working
behind
third shift though
3
too.
years ago. I left that behind at 24.
Oh, jeez.
Man.
Do we consider when you guys are talking New Year's dinner? Are you talking about New Year's Day or New Year's Eve?
I don't know. We didn't do anything special for either, so.
Because they're both like a thing.
Yeah, I don't do anything special for either. We couldn't go anywhere, so what was I supposed to do special for New Year's Eve, huh, Greg? Huh? I was following social distancing guidelines.
I don't think I would ever go anywhere New Year's Eve anymore. Best case scenario, I would go to a friend's house if we were the only other people there.
Yeah.
That's what we well, before my friends had triplets, we would go there on New Year's and just hang out, have drinks, play board games. Him trying to get one of my best friends trying to get his wife and my girlfriend to care about Settlers of Catan. It's a very Ben Wyatt moment.
Yeah,
Except
Cones of Dunshire.
Yeah, we're trying to get them to care about nerdy ass board games, and they're like, "We just want to watch the New Year's Eve shows," and we're like, "All right, we'll be out in the backyard having a cigar and drinking."
So the last time I watched a New Year's Eve thing, where you watch the ball drop and then you watch the people sing and dance and stuff. The last thing I remember watching, it was the baby Justin Bieber was still a thing, when he was a kid.
Mhm.
And he had if I remember correctly, he had a broken arm, or he had something was in a cast, and he was singing that baby 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 song to a girl on a stool, and he was just dancing around her singing the song. And just I just remember and we were at a friend's house playing some game, and it's just this is the weirdest fucking thing to ever broadcast on television to celebrate the new year. You're peddling some kid that's past his bedtime with a broken arm, so it's double, and then serenading a girl that, man, also past her bedtime. It's just neither of these kids are fucking they should not be up. They should not be singing to each other. He should not be making the little heart things with his hands to her. That's probably how he broke it in the first place. It just is all so bizarre to me.
He did that to some
haven't
girl,
watched
and her
one
dad
since.
beat him up.
Yeah,
Wow.
This literally happened off stage. What did you do to my daughter? And just broke his wrist. Ah. We had our New Year's Eve we had pizza. New Year's Day we had nachos. And Christmas was classic Christmas. It's just mashed potatoes, corn.
Is
and,
nachos a
steak
meal?
turkey.
Are nachos a meal?
Oh,
It can be. Do you believe, Corey? Do you believe,
No, it's the appetizer. Nachos
No,
are the
it's-
appetizer.
dude? If
This
you
is the
make
way,
that,
Corey.
you can make a glorious plate of loaded nachos, my friend. That can easily be a meal.
Corey, come to my house for nachos once we're both safe And
any Mexican
bring
restaurant,
condoms, I guess. I don't know.
Oh God.
any Mexican restaurant that has nachos, usually it's like $10, and it's like supposed to be for like 5 people, but you can make it you'd order it for yourself, there you go. It's a whole meal.
I guess I lied. I guess I have had nachos for a meal before. The Mexican restaurant that's kind of like local to us, a local chain of Mexican restaurants, has chicken nachos, and it's just like chicken and green peppers and onions and cheese and jalapenos, and yeah, okay, never mind.
Yeah. My plate of nachos usually weighs 5 to 10 pounds. Good plate. 2 layers max. No more than 2 layers.
Well, I was just telling Ed about because it came up in our chat, and there's this Mexican restaurant that we really like that we go to when we go visit Madison, Wisconsin, and like it is like one of my favorite. They do the whole like little strips, like skinny long strips of chicken and steak on it, and they just load it with everything. And then those like the scoops, not the Frito scoops, but the Tostito scoops or whatever. They make one about the size of like your hand, and they make like 3 of them, and they set those on top, and then one's got sour cream in it, one's got salsa in it, and then one's got like something like pico de gallo or something in it.
This sounds like
it's like $10. You get a lot of food, dude. It's so good though. For $10.
Sounds like
that's a meal.
Yeah. Well. So is that what you ate, Joe? Is that your?
That's it.
No.
That was it. That was the end.
Okay. Well, on Christmas we went to my mom's, and she made a nice. It wasn't really brunch. She tried to call it brunch. She tried to pass it off as brunch, but we had like a nice quiche, a nice cheesy egg quiche. We had cinnamon rolls. We had waffles. We had some ham and sausage.
What time of day?
No, it was like 10 a.m.
That's a brunch.
It is, but there wasn't any like lunch.
She did like fried
you know
chicken.
what? I've learned any time can be brunch if you believe enough.
Santa Claus, Easter Bunny, just wish your little heart out, and you can have brunch. Really wanna.
Well, one day I will share with y'all the single best brunch I've ever had.
I'm making Josh a shirt that says "I believe in brunch."
Yeah.
Oh man, that's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be one of the new designs on our store. It's gonna happen. I believe in brunch, Josh Finney. Quotes.
Or
air quotes.
Do you believe in brunch, and have like a little cartoon picture of Cher?
You believe in brunch, or
do you believe in life after brunch?
Yeah, there you go.
Do you feel something inside you say?
I really want to eat this sausage today.
And New Year's.
Got it down these mimosas.
Oh God. On what day was it? New Year's Eve. We had like pizza, and my brother-in-law made like this really spicy buffalo dip and buffalo chicken dip. Actually, we just put scoops in, and we had pigs in a blanket. We had cheese sticks, jalapeno poppers. It was a good time. My butt was on fire for like 3 days, but it's okay.
People always say that, and I've yet to ever experience this this spicy aftermath when I eat some hot stuff, and it just doesn't affect me. Apparently, I must be lucky.
Well, you have the colon of a devil.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
I got the colon of a 15-year-old. I'm in good shape.
Don't let the cops hear you say that.
Yeah.
Look at Josh's face. Somebody please meme Josh's face right now.
Swear, officer, I'm talking about my own.
My colon, not his colon.
Oh man,
All right.
I'm so glad this is the first show of the year.
Look at what you've done, Greg.
Yeah.
I'm
Greg,
going to jail because I answered.
Greg,
your
you got Joe arrested for talking about 15-year-olds' colons.
I said a 15-year-old, not a specific one.
Oh, so you
I
have a
don't even
collection
know
of them.
these assholes.
Oh my god.
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
I felt it happening, and right.
Just went with it.
Man, I'm gonna have to turn the saturation down on my picture because my face is so red from laughing so hard. All right. Our next question comes from Luke Steiner. He says, "Hey guys, I got an Xbox Series S for Christmas and was looking for a good Xbox podcast to catch up on what I missed during the Xbox One generation and found yours. I always try to interact with the shows that I listen to, so I decided to write in. What kind of gaming things did you get for Christmas? Cheers and Happy New Year's. I'm glad I found the show." Well, I hope you enjoyed that last segment, Luke.
Yeah, if you made it this far, congratulations.
You're either a lifer now or you unsubscribed.
Or you're investigating one of us.
Yeah.
How about the white one with the beard?
Yeah,
That's all of us.
yeah.
They already talked about fat white guys.
That white guy with the beard is really sus on that show.
Man.
Oh man, we also talked about Jingle Bell nipples too. I forgot about that. That was this episode too.
We're getting it all out. We're getting it all out right in the beginning of the year. I almost forgot that we're doing a game show, about games.
Did anybody get anything cool game wise for Christmas?
I got Maneater and Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Fire Emblem Three Houses, an awesome Fallout controller charger.
Ooh,
I love it.
That I'm really, really, really stoked about, even if the battery cover doesn't fit on my controller when I put the battery in.
Why not?
Because it's an Xbox One battery technically, and it's just like a little too big for the Series X controller.
Oh, really? I used mine. I used my Xbox One.
It's a third-party thing.
Oh, it's a third party. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Sold on the Microsoft website.
Okay.
I got the Halo Energy Sword Mega Constructs and the Forerunner Construct Mega Constructs.
Nice.
So I'm really excited about those. And this wonderful Joker amiibo.
Nice.
Very
Put
excited.
it lower. Can't see it. There it is.
Is he dabbing?
He's dabbing. He's hip.
Lower.
It's a dagger, asshole.
Joe
he's
downloaded Fortnite a couple weeks ago, so he's all about the dabs. He knows what the dab is now.
I know what a dab is. I know what flossing is. I know what brushing your teeth is. I know what wiping properly is now, thanks to Fortnite. A lot of hygiene.
You playing with those 15-year-old colons.
They're
They
teaching me
taught you
so
how
much.
to wipe good.
Guys, it's been excellent being a part of Bots Rush. I'm afraid that this has to be my final appearance for Year of Investigation.
I'll see you on Thursday for Tower Casuals, though, right?
You're never gonna catch me.
Oh man,
Man,
it's a cool charger though.
it is really. I enjoy it a lot.
I wish I had a cool controller charger because like I have the Microsoft
one is really cool too.
Yeah, I have the Microsoft battery chargers, but all the cool battery chargers require you to use the third party battery, and I don't really want to.
So I'll be honest, I mainly got this to be a controller stand because I thought it looked really, and I picked out my Christmas presents this year. Surprise!
Smart.
So
I need to start doing that.
Eventually, I'll have a
Your
battery.
Nana gave you her credit card again. Here, Joshy.
My grandmother, my sweet dear old grandmother, who we discussed this on the episode before Christmas, always buys me a video game and gives it to me Christmas Eve. She bought me Assassin's Creed Valhalla this year without knowing it, and when she wrapped it, didn't look at the rating. She hasn't looked at the rating in years, and she looked at it and was like, "Oh," because she still remembers what they mean. She goes, "So that's 17 and older." I was like, "Yeah, I'm 28, Mom." And then she looked at the back to see what it was rated M for. And
titties. Oh, Joshy, and butt stuff.
It's rated M for mature, for blood and gore, intense violence, sexual themes, strong language, use of drugs and alcohol, and nudity. And she just looked at it. She looked back at me. She looked back at the game. She looked back at me. And then Chelsea, God bless her, chimes in and goes, "Oh, that's not even the worst thing that he owns. That's actually pretty mild." And I'm like, whoa, hold up a minute here. Hold up. I play Destiny. I'm a Guardian, okay?
He has another game called Cyber Sex Simulator.
She decided to look up what Cyberpunk and Grand Theft Auto were rated for. My grandma's like, "Well, thank God you didn't have me buying one of those filthy games." Because how I presented this to her was, this is a historical reenactment.
Did you tell her that the thing with Cyberpunk is you're lucky if it even works anyway?
No, Chelsea informed her that in Cyberpunk you can choose your own penis size, and at that point my grandma, thank God, had tuned out to the conversation and had started talking about like soup or something. So we didn't have to have the conversation about adjusting your dick size in Cyberpunk.
Let me tell you that soup is old lady code for penis size. So if it's a beef stroganoff, look out.
There's a
great sweet innocent grandmother you're talking about.
Oh, it's fine.
My wife's mom makes really good beef stroganoff.
15-year-old colons, Joe.
Yeah.
I just want to say that my wife's mom makes really good beef stroganoff.
So does my grandma.
It's very good.
And she's not even Russian.
Speaking of grandmas and
my mother-in-law is.
Oh no, it's never good when it starts out. Speaking of grandmas,
so my grandparents were over one day, and me and my sister were watching Freddy Got Fingered.
Oh God!
And have you ever seen the?
Yeah, I think everybody's seen Freddy Got Fingered at some point in their life.
We're watching what?
If you've at least seen the trailer for Freddy Got Fingered, I think you.
No,
you've never seen.
What are you talking about?
You've never heard of Freddy Got Fingered?
What?
No.
Tom Green.
Just look it up. It's hilarious.
I'm not watching anything titled "So and So Got Fingered."
Sure, but you will have.
I'm
not. That's not going in my search history.
Just look up. Just Google search "Daddy, would you like some sausage?"
Would you like some sausage?
Yeah.
Well,
no,
it's not.
Especially after you just told me that's in the name of the movie. No, no.
So in the movie we're watching it, and there's a part when he's driving in the car and he sees some farmers doing stuff to a horse on the side of the road, and he stops. My grandma just happened to walk into the living room when that part was on, and she's like, "Oh, you guys!" And she just started laughing. I was like, "Oh my God, dude, this is so weird." But like, I could not believe that my grandma just laughed about it and gave us an "Oh, you guys."
I feel like Josh is learning a lot about us tonight that he did not want to know. Anyways, I got some cool stuff. I got Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition for Switch, and I got what else did I get? I got a $35 Xbox gift card. And I got 6 months of Game Pass.
Nice.
So that was fun.
Yeah, I really honestly, other than what Ed gave me a gift card for Xbox, but other than that, I really didn't get any game stuff this year, which is fine, because the thing is, there's always like really good sales, and I'm always afraid to have people get games for me because then they end up buying it, and then like a week later it goes on sale and could have got it for cheaper. So it's like games are one of those things where a lot of times I just like buying my own stuff for that. So, but yeah, I kind of want to get the Razer thing for my phone eventually, so I can, like have the actual controller that goes on the phone to play xCloud and stuff like that. I want to get that eventually, but yeah.
Cool.
I got some.
Mega Constructs.
No, I did not get any Mega Constructs, but I kind of already had them, most of them. I got, I think, almost every, if not every, Halo toy that's out right now in like the first series. So I unboxed them all today.
Did you film it?
No, I didn't film it.
Oh,
Should I have?
good content wasted. Put them
I don't know
back.
if it's good content. I struggled for a
Yeah,
while.
put 'em
It definitely
back.
would have been more an embarrassing thing. But I have a bunch of these codes now that you can only use like one of. So I'm going to have to do something with those. I got, my wife got me some, I have an Elite Series 2, and the little back paddles on the come stock are a little long. So Scuff actually makes some like short ones.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
So she got me those and some new grips for the top. I like the dome tops, and they make a tall dome one that comes in a kit and it's a little squishier. So she got me that, and I got like a Halo water bottle. Ooh, I bought this technically for myself, but it's kind of crazy. So Mountain Dew started making game fuel again. I don't know if you knew.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, but they had a thing where I bought a case of it on their website, right? And it has a really cool top, but when I bought it, I got this like limited edition Dr. Disrespect container of something. And so I looked it up on eBay, and there's like ones that are going from anywhere from $400 to $900 for this like container of game fuel. So I'm really glad I didn't open it, and I'm just waiting to see if those sell, and then I might get myself a Xbox Series S for like a second console if I can get $300 out of it.
I would absolutely sell a can of fucking Mountain Dew for $300.
Let me tell you that I didn't pay for it. I got that for free with the other shipment.
Oh yeah, no, I understand
So
what
it's
you're
just
saying. I would 100% turn around and sell that.
No,
Yeah,
if they're selling for a couple $100s, I will sell it. I'm watching all the listings to see if they sell.
Mm-hmm.
The guy, if the guy sells it for $900, done. I'll buy it now, $450.
Right? I'll undercut them so much as long as I'm making 3 digits. I'll undercut.
If I can make $300 off a stupid can of game fuel, another Xbox. Here we go.
You should stick a little note on it that says "Listen to Arsenal X."
I should
Would you send it
put
to
a
them?
little.
give him a download link for a free episode.
Yeah.
Complimentary download of
you
Arsenal
go.
X and Tower Casuals included.
Yeah.
They never charged me for the subscription. I've been getting it for free for like months now.
Come listen to us talk about Jingle Bell nipples, colons, and
That's the idiot that spends
the fat
$900
fuck
on
on
a can
the
of soda.
Pillsbury Grands canisters.
Oh man.
This is a gaming podcast.
It
though.
is,
In case
Josh.
you didn't know.
I'm glad you brought that
We'll
up.
get there.
If you didn't know, this is Arsenal X, the Xbox podcast, where each and every Sunday night, live on twitch.tv/BossRushGamesLive, Live, we discuss the world of Xbox with our friends from around the internet. If you can't join us live, no big deal. You can head on over to youtube.com/BossRushGames and podcast services every Tuesday to check out the show. Leave us a review on iTunes and rate and subscribe on Arsenal X wherever you listen. It really helps. You can catch all of our shows on BossRushGames.com. Join our Discord. Follow us on Twitter at Arsenal X Podcast. You can email the show at arsenalxpodcast@gmail.com, like our friends Greg and Luke did, and like our next question person did. But we're not getting into that right now. We're going to do that at the end of the show. The end. The end. All right, gentlemen. It's our first episode of 2021. You know what that means. We're going to talk about 2020. Not all the bad things, not all the good things, because let's be honest, this is a good thing. It's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Came out of 2020. But we're going to spend maybe the next 15 minutes or so talking about our favorite 5 Xbox games of the year. They could be new games. They could be old games, Joe. And,
Hey,
but we're going to talk about the 5 games that made us the happiest during 2020. You know what, Joe? We're going to go with you first.
nice. Depending on me reading the generic version of this list, am I just listing them all? Am I going down the list?
Yeah. Just
All right.
You can do whatever you want, Joe.
This could be as old as 2015, this list.
Jesus.
So my number 5, coming in number 5 out of my top 5, Cyberpunk 2077. It's a good game, holding off. Obviously, the real thing that's keeping it from being at the top is just the obvious. It's just not there yet on a console, and we're playing on a console. I am.
Yeah.
It's playable. Not great. So I'm holding off. Coming in number 4. This feels cheap. Call of Duty Warzone. They have done spectacular things for all the holiday events. The game's fucking free. It's a really good game for a free battle royale game. You can avoid any microtransaction. None of those purchases need to happen, and there's a lot of content, especially seasonally. It was very impressive.
I do want to say Call of Duty Warzone was number 12 on our top 25 list of 2020.
So it wasn't only me,
No.
right?
Nope.
Couldn't have been.
No.
All right.
It was not only you.
3. Someone needs I need like a graphic or something.
3.
Doom Eternal. There we go. Doom Eternal. Great game. That's it. It's a really good game. They took everything that they did from the first one. It's weird because it's a first-person shooter that doesn't play normal. It's like this weird game of, I wouldn't even say chess. It's like this weird momentum game that as soon as you stop moving, you die. And it's crazy. But as soon as you stop playing that game and you try to pick it up later, you cannot do it. I tried to pick it up to do the expansion that came out, and I just forget everything about how to play that game. Josh was so offended.
I know. Josh was so offended that he left. He left. And him leaving resized Jesse's window on the stream, so I had to resize it, everybody. It's fine.
Love it.
It's fine.
I love it. 2, Destiny. Beyond Light. Really great game. If you have the Series S or X version, it is a phenomenal update. It plays like a brand new game. I love the direction they're going with it. Any of the people that are hating on that game right now, I would say, are probably not the true fans. Whatever. My number 1, the most important thing, Master Chief Collection. Been playing the shit out of this game. 120 frames a second is amazing if you have an S or an X or you're playing on PC. The updates that they've done recently as far as just the quality of life, Halo Reach, all the extra firefight modes and everything like that, it seems like they've put a lot of care that needed to go into this game. Supposedly should have happened probably 5 years ago. They got around to it, and I would say that if you haven't, for whatever reason, played this game, you don't have Game Pass, I don't know why you're listening to this show then if you don't like any of these things. You should play it. It's amazing. It's great. They have a season pass model. It's not only free, you don't have to pay for it, but it's there's no fear of missing out. If you don't complete your season pass, but you keep playing the game, you can go and unlock it retroactively, which is another amazing thing. Can't say enough great things about Master Chief Collection. Everyone should go play that. At least get some Halo love in there. It should hold you over until fall of this year. I'm done.
I played some Master Chief Collection this weekend.
They finally fixed the hit detection too in Halo 3, and it is fine.
I noticed real bad because I sucked real bad.
It's definitely a game that if you haven't played it recently, it sucks for a while. You need to get at least 20 matches in before you get the grip of it again.
It's so slow. I know I've been playing Destiny and Cyberpunk and all these other games that are fast moving games, but like I was like, man, I forgot how slow Halo 2 and 3 were.
It's like you're clomping around.
Yeah, even Halo 4 is like faster, and I'm like, man, I love Halo 4. By the way, I'm going to defend that game till the end of time.
It's funny. Whenever I played Halo 4 when it came out, I liked the campaign. Like I liked the story arc, and I love like the visuals of that game. I felt like there's several moments when you play that game where it feels like you're looking at concept art, which is kind of like always interesting to me. Destiny is another game that if you stop moving in Destiny and just like freeze frame, it looks like concept art. It's really crazy. So I really liked Halo 4, but I never played the multiplayer because it felt so like foreign to me. I was just like, this doesn't feel like Halo. But now when I go back and play MCC, like I really like Halo 4's multiplayer. I feel like 343 is never going to get a break because I actually think that they were a little bit ahead of their time with Halo 4. And it kind of stinks because like Halo 4 moving into Halo 5, like you can see that direct connection. And I think most people are okay with Halo 5. Also, I'm sorry, but if I have a first-person shooter and I'm a Spartan, like, I should be able to sprint.
Yep, I agree.
Unless I'm moving fast all the time and it has, like, some sort of auto sprint where if I'm, like, going on a straight stretch, I already start moving faster, but, like, that's weird. I need to sprint.
You are literally trying to save the universe. You should be able to fucking run.
Should be able to run.
Yeah, the thing is with them is, like, you know, say what you will about, you know, like, whatever... You know, like people didn't really care for 5 and stuff like that, and that's fine. But man, like they really made Halo games look phenomenal. Like those games look better than they had. Like 4,
Halo 4
and 5. Like I just love how everything looks in that game.
Halo
it's
4
by far my favorite.
Halo 4 on the 360 looked like an Xbox One game at the time. It still looks really good. Like, it still looks good.
And Halo 5 still looks real. Like, the textures in Halo 5 are great. Like, it looks really good still.
Like, to this day, I'll go down saying that those are the best looking versions of the guns in any Halo game. Like, they're so awesome looking. And I just love, like, the new weapons that they had brought in and stuff like that as well. Like, I really like how things look in those games, and why, you know, I can kind of understand why when people seen the thing for Halo Infinite, they were kind of disappointed with the way it looked, you know, because
I think like, Halo 5 looked like I didn't think amazing. Halo Infinite looked bad, but I think Halo 5 looked better than Infinite, to be honest with you.
I will say that Master Chief's armor in Halo 4 and 5 is my least favorite look.
Oh, see, I think it's my favorite. I think
a little. I feel like it's too. I don't know. Too many pieces. It's too clunky. I like the cleaner.
See, I think he looks. I think he looks more agile and more like a soldier with those pieces, like a space
I will say he looks
Marine.
More like a soldier.
So. I was kind of disappointed when they went back to, you know, the Halo 2 look in Infinite, but I understand that's what people want, and like at the end of the day, it's a first-person game. I don't really give a shit, right? Like whatever. It's Master Chief. He's cool. I don't care. But yeah. Although those screenshots they showed of the multiplayer stuff for Halo Infinite
look good.
You ready for them layered color schemes or whatever people are pissed about?
They're shaders. It's like it's the shaders from Destiny. It's like the same. I get it. Just shut the fuck up. My biggest concern, and I love Halo, and I'm so glad that there's a community that exists that still loves Halo. But like, pipe down. Let someone make a goddamn game. Like, I don't want to go on a Halo tangent here, but like, I really just want the community to shut up for a little bit and then let them make the game that they like, the game that 343 wants to make, and then we can play it. Because there's too many voices and there's too much of a commotion. Like, we get one little dribble of information and then people get bent out of shape about it. Be like, you know what? Maybe we just wait and see what it's like before we jump to a conclusion. And if it's a 10-year game, they'll fix it if it's bad when it comes out. But there's just too much of that. I just want people to make what they want to make, and then we'll play it. And then if it's bad, we let them know, and then they can adjust it. That's it.
Yeah.
Someone else go.
Yeah, I can go if you'd like.
Yeah, go, Jesse.
My list.
Rapid fire.
All right, so my number 5, and again, I basically had these on Boss Rush, but my number 5 was Call of the Sea. My number 4 was Ghost Runner.
It was funny. Did you see Laurent's comment in the Twitter chat about Ghost Runner? He said he turned it on and he basically got instant vertigo or something.
Oh, did he? Yeah, I mean it's a pretty intense game. It's a pretty intense game, but I love it. It's very similar to, like I said on Boss Rush. It's very similar to a Doom, like Doom Eternal, where it's just you've got to keep moving, and it's all about precision and constantly moving, and kind of juggling the different things that you got to do. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, if for you, Joe, if you like Doom Eternal, if you haven't tried Ghost Runner, I suggest giving it a try. I think you might like it. Like I said, it's kind of like Doom meets like Super Hot.
Super Hot's a fun game.
Yeah, which I've been playing some of that lately too. But my number 3 is Gears Tactics. Such an amazing game. I can't say enough good things about it. My number 2 is Mortal Shell, and my number 1 has been Watch Dogs Legions, which I've just been enjoying, just doing nonsensical, just fun stuff in that game, and I don't care about the story. And I have done some story stuff in it, but it's just a fun open world game to just screw around in. It's kind of like I said on Boss Rush, Far Cry 5 ended up being my game of the year, I believe, that year, because it was the right mixture of all the things I like in an open world game to just screw around and have fun with. So yeah, I'm hoping I'm hoping Cyberpunk, once I really truly can sit down with that, and that will kind of give me that kind of stuff as well. But that didn't really go on my list because I've just kind of been hesitant with starting that. It's kind of waiting here until we got a solid version of it. Yeah. But I'll be honest, I'm just really excited to play it with the next gen patches. That's really how I want to experience it. So
it's probably the smart move at this point.
Yeah.
Josh, what about you? He's about to go into Viking mode. Here we go.
Yeah, so I believe my exact order was, I went number 5, Cyberpunk, which would have been a whole lot higher. Like we've said multiple times before, I'm not going to relitigate the Cyberpunk point. It probably would have honestly been my game of the year. I went Call of the Sea at number 4. Number 3, I put Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and after today, I'd be willing to put it as high as number 2 on this list, because it does things that no other Assassin's Creed game has really done. It really embraces the full-on action RPG-ness that the series has been trending into since Origins. But I also feel like we're kind of at a point with the series, and the Washington Post made this, Gene Park made this point over there this week, about how the series kind of feels like it did, in a sense, after Unity. It felt like we were kind of at the conclusion of something, and we were about to go into the next chapter of whatever these games are going to be like. And I'm starting to see why he thinks that way. Despite all the praise that Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla have garnered, some of the best reviews in the entire series. A lot of people that I've talked to have Odyssey and or Valhalla in their top 5. I certainly do. I have them both in my top 4 in the series right now, maybe even both top 3. They're too big, though. These games are too open and too massive. one of my biggest complaints about Valhalla is it doesn't feel like a world that's been lived in, whereas Odyssey, which is set in ancient Greece 1,200 years before this, feels much more lived in and alive. Like it feels like there are actually consequences there, but there are here too. I mean, like I just did a story arc where, depending on how many allies you've gathered throughout the campaigns in England, will affect how easy or difficult those missions are in that region. It's an emotional high point in the story, and then I went right into another part which literally had me screaming on my stream like, I can't believe they just fucking did this. I can't believe they did this in Assassin's Creed. That particular moment reinforced to me, though, at the same time, if you're going to keep calling these games Assassin's Creed, you need to get back to what they were in like Assassin's Creed 1, 2, Brotherhood. Hell, I'd even take 3, which had some open world, but not a ton. Because they're too big for their own good now. If you're going to keep making these massive games, that's cool. Make it a different series. Like, especially the direction that they take things in Valhalla that I just hit. I'm like, I would love for this to be its own game. And I had the exact same thought in Odyssey. Like, there's no reason that, we couldn't have gotten several more games with Cassandra given the implications of that ending. There's no reason why you couldn't get more of that. Right now, I see no reason why you can't do a little bit more with Eivor. It's just that Ubisoft kind of boxing themselves into needlessly. The current day story is actually kind of interesting for the first time in forever now, with the events of Odyssey behind us, and now with this, like confirming that canonically Cassandra was the choice, and you get the strong implication that female Eivor is the correct choice here, like canonically, even though you can play it as either, you can switch at any time, etc. But Ubisoft games, we've said this before, all tend to feel the same after a while in terms of how big the world is, how empty it feels, and how just bogged down with shit it is. There are so many treasures and collectibles and stuff to find. I love that I'm finding most of my armor and a lot of my weapons out in the world, or I'm getting them off of enemies as I kill them. I'm not having to constantly upgrade and dump weapons like I did in Odyssey. Your weapons are with you permanently after that. You don't ever get rid of them. You can enhance them with runes, upgrading them with materials, etc., like crafting. But I've hit the point in the game where, as one does with a Ubisoft game after about hour 20, where it becomes a grind fest for XP. And you're just simply not going to be able to enjoy the game until you grind out a bunch. And that's honestly part of what keeps it from being higher on my list. They
have that XP booster for sale now.
And that was the next thing I was going to go to. So I don't know if they did it with Origins. I know they did it with Odyssey. And it was a big deal when it happened with Odyssey. That was 2 years ago, though. And now that whole controversy is getting reignited. I thought it was ridiculous with Odyssey. But I realized why it didn't affect me in Odyssey. I put 65 hours into that game before I hit the credits. At least 65 hours. Maybe even up to 70. To get my preferred ending. But I'm one of those, if there's quests on the map, I'm going to do them. I'm going to go do them all if I'm having a good time. And thank God Valhalla does not have all those listed in my quest log, because I literally, I've talked about it on the show, I legit had anxiety attacks looking at that map. There were so many quests to do. Now they're just highlighted as little blue dots on the map. They're called mysteries. They're world events now. You go to that, it could be that. It could be an actual mystery. It could be a crypt that you need to go explore. Jesse was talking about some Tomb Raider style stuff. I've hit a couple Treasures of Britain tombs that I've gone and done that are nice. That feel like they belong more in a Lara Croft game than in Assassin's Creed. But for all the praise that I can heap on this game, it just keeps falling into a trap that Ubisoft is going to have to rectify with real soon, because even though it had the best sales of any Assassin's Creed game since 2012, since number 3, in its launch month, in 2 weeks was enough to propel it to number 7 for the overall year. That's bonkers numbers, no matter how you look at it. That's insane. This was clearly a marquee launch title for next gen. It absolutely plays the best on Series X and on PS5 and on PC. If you're playing it on Xbox One and PS4, it probably runs like shit, honestly, because I'm even getting frame rate drops on next gen. I can't imagine what y'all are playing with.
It runs great on Series S. can tell you that.
Okay, that's good. That's good. We're at a point where I feel like we're about to have the same conversation with single player games that we did about Battlefront 2 a couple years ago, where the artificial XP boosters, now they're creeping into single player games. If your game is so fucking bloated and padded with just needless shit to do that you need to sell an XP booster because players are going to get annoyed with this, it shouldn't be in the game to start with.
I bought the one in Assassin's Creed Odyssey and I still didn't finish it. So
it's bonkers, and like you look at the price of it and it's like, why would you spend this? Like they try to make it better. Like they give you some Helix credits to start with, so you don't feel as bad if you got to fork out a couple bucks for it. But I said this before we started. If I ever get to the point where I need to buy an XP booster in this game, I will simply just stop playing the game instead. I would rather read the conclusion on Wikipedia and watch the ending cutscenes on YouTube than do this. You know, it's just at that point the game becomes not fun. So like my thing, I'm going to keep playing this until it's simply not fun anymore. Like, and I was starting to feel like I was getting to that point before I did everything I did today. And then now I'm like, okay, I'm reinvigorated. I want to keep going. I want to see this through to the end because of the couple twists and turns, the quest lines I did today. It's just like, it has a way of, it feels really dull for a couple of these lands just aren't interesting. I don't care about it. I literally don't give a shit about any of the characters in a couple of these plot lines. But then you get that one. You get one where just like it tugs at your heartstrings, it puts a dagger in your emotions. And you're like, shit. All right, I'm reinvested. I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do all these, and that sets you off down that path. And they're so good at doing that. It's no surprise the game director behind Valhalla is the same one who he was behind Black Flag and Origins, I believe. You know, two of the more critically acclaimed ones. They're also two of the ones that really focus on the characters. I think that's something like I promise I'm done talking about this game after this, but
no, it's okay because I'm it's actually the game I'm playing right now. So I mean,
at some point I do want to have a serious discussion on this podcast about Ubisoft single player games in particular, and just how they all genuinely feel the same. They feel bloated. They're selling XP boosters in these games, for God's sake. And Assassin's Creed isn't the only series that does it. They do it in Ghost Recon. They do it in Division. They do it in Watch Dogs. Like, you're doing it in fucking Watch Dogs. Like, come on. Come on.
I've recently had a couple of times where I've really sat and thought about a lot of because we've had people, we had Outer Worlds come out and they said they wanted to make that kind of game, that Fallout kind of game, but they don't want to put all that bloat stuff in it, and they just want to make it a solid game. And I honestly think that, I hope that if they do continue that trend starts to pick up. Because my theory on this is okay, when you go to a theater and you go to see a movie, some places you can pay $20 per person, and that can get you about 3-hour movie. And this may be controversial to some people, but I honestly think for $60, if you're gonna buy a game for $60, I honestly don't think that the developers should be on the hook for anything more than at least maybe at the most a 15-hour game.
So I don't necessarily disagree with you. It's the conversation we had with Ron yesterday on Boss Rush Pod about Miles Morales being a worthy experience at $50-$60 for an 8-hour game. Just to finish the campaign is 8 hours. There's still plenty of stuff to do in there to pad it to 24 hours. My issue isn't with that or with Fallout, a Fallout or an Elder Scrolls. I can sit down, and if I adequately level and stuff, I can get through the main quest in those games in about 15 to 20 hours. That's fine. They don't force me to do the side stuff. In this game, you are forced to do everything, or you cannot get high enough level to do the end game. That's my problem, is when you are artificially padding your game and you're forcing me to go do things. They're not in the main quest. Your main quest is already so mind-bogglingly long, but you, even with all of that, even with freeing all the boroughs, even with getting them all to align with you, going back and doing the stuff in Norway, doing stuff in other regions, which are gigantic spoilers. Like it is mind-boggling that you would still expect more of me after that. Like, why not just give me some ability? Give me ability points. Don't give me a power level. Give me some ability points. Like, oh, you finished a mission? Here's an ability point. Don't give it to me where it ties into a power level for the whole region. Be like, I don't know, like, oh, you can't unlock these regions. Like, you can't go there. Put an invisible wall there or something. Like, I can't go there until I'm like, I've done at least these ones. And, like, it'll get easier as I've done different arcs. Like, do something like that. This is ridiculous. And I admire that you can go anywhere in the game. I do like that. But at a certain, and you'll get your ass whooped if you go to certain areas, like way before your time. But it is simply inexcusable in a single player game for us to have XP boosters, for us to have an artificially padded game to where you have to do. I've put 40 hours almost into this game, and I'm not even close to the end of the campaign. That is both weird and really disheartening to me, to know that I've put all this time in and I'm not even close to the resolution. Like, at 40 hours, I was hitting the end of Cyberpunk. That's great. And that is a world that feels alive, that feels like it has so much more to do in it than this game. And, like, the stuff I'm doing there feels meaningful, too. Like, it's affecting the world around me. Here, it doesn't feel that way. And I think that's my biggest problem. But, so to get off my soapbox, AC Valhalla at number 3. I got Wasteland 3 at number 2. I talked about it a lot back in August. I talked about that and Tell Me Why, end of August, beginning of September on this show. And then I had Destiny Beyond Light as my number 1 game, which I feel weird about doing expansions. But that's the game I spent the most time with this year, was Destiny. Again, if you want my thoughts on Destiny, come listen to Tower Casuals. So
Nice.
I'm done. I promise I'm done complaining about Ubisoft for this week.
I'm not.
Yeah, and, like, honestly,
this is why I don't pay full price for their games.
I'll get you next time, Ubisoft.
Wow.
That was an Inspector Gadget.
Yeah. Dr. Claw or whatever.
Wow.
Well, I just wanted to say, like, with the, like, if I was to put, like, the game that I played, like, and I've thought about, I probably should have, but, like, this year, Fortnite just had some amazing seasons. So, like I have to at least give it a shout out, because they had some amazing content this year, and they made me play a game that I honestly did not care about.
I played it too. I won 3 Battle Royales so far.
Yeah.
I don't know if that means anything.
Yeah.
Man, I'm struggling with these windows on the Twitch thing. But I'll just run through mine while I fix this real quick. My number 5 for Xbox is Gears Tactics. I want to spend a little bit more time with it, but it's definitely got that it's got that Gears look, it's got that Gears feel, just in a turn-based tactics game instead of whatever. It rewards you for being tactical but aggressive. But also, if you are too aggressive, they will just murder you, just like in real Gears. So I really like Gears Tactics. I love the characters. I think it's great. Shout out to Gears 5 Hivebusters as well. I know it's not like a game, but it's a really fun expansion. If you are into Gears, you should play it.
And that's part of, like, what Josh was talking about with games being super long. I'd rather just.
I wish we would get Hivebusters every 2 years or so between, like, the major games, instead of, like, you know, these bloated 9,000 hour experiences that I'm never gonna finish.
Bring expansions back.
Speaking of bloated, Assassin's Creed Valhalla is my number 4. I've spent a lot more time with it now, and I'm enjoying it. I don't know if I like it as much as Odyssey yet. Odyssey is, like, up there with Breath of the Wild for me this generation. But I still like it. I like the Viking setting. I think it's really cool. I like how it feels more grounded than the other ones have, it seems like. Cyberpunk is number 3. Probably, like many of you, probably would have been higher on my list if it was, working for most people. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 is my number 2. It is God, it just reminds me of me sitting in my parents' basement playing Dreamcast for like 5 hours a night. It just, takes me back, man. And the music is so good. The gameplay's so good. It's harder than I remember it being, or maybe I just suck.
No, I would say the same. It's a lot more difficult than I remember when I was playing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just once you were engulfed in that in its time, it was just came so much easier. But now it's like, it took some time to get back into and like really, and like still to this day, I wasn't very good at comboing stuff then, and I definitely haven't gotten any better at it.
All I have to say is thank God for manuals.
Yeah.
And then my number one is Destiny. I feel kind of cheap putting an expansion on here, but I feel like Beyond Light really changed how I look and play Destiny, right? Like it got me back in to really reconnecting with friends, got me into like first of all, the graphical changes and the frame rate changes that the Series X and S changed everything about that game and just made it feel like a brand new game. The Deepstone Crypt was an amazing experience with friends for the raid, and I had to put it on this list. I feel like what Beyond Light did to change the game and how they're moving the game moving forward, and of course we're going to talk a lot more about this on Tower Casuals at some point. But it just feels like this, if they were still with Activision, this is clearly where Destiny 3 would have started. And like, it just feels like it feels like a good progression towards where they really want to go as a, I guess, independent studio. So, but those are our top 5. If you want to check out our top 25 list, it's on bossrushgames.com. Just go to the game of the year in the featured section. It's there. It's a pretty good diverse list. I know there are some surprises that were left off the list, in particularly one that I've already gotten messages about. So, yeah.
What game?
The Last of Us Part 2 is not on our list.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, it's obvious, like, some of us don't really have...
I mean, I got rid of my PlayStation to save up for a Series X, right? And I was like, I'll get to these games when I get a PlayStation 5 at some point.
So. Well, and I'll be honest, for me, I've just that's a franchise that I have no interest in.
Yeah, I didn't like the first one.
That's the thing is it's hard when there's just certain games that just aren't for. Like, I mean, because like ultimately the main thing that I'm really bummed that I haven't been able to experience is Miles Morales, because I've been really sick of like the same old Spider-Man stuff. Like, I like them. I loved the new movies and everything, but like Miles Morales for me is really what has brought interest back into Spider-Man again for me, and I'm really bummed that I haven't been able to play that yet.
Yeah.
But that I can guarantee that's the first thing I'm gonna play when I do get a PS5, which I do plan on hopefully getting at some point this year.
Yeah, I mean,
if I can. So
there's already like 5 games on my list that I would like to play when I get a PlayStation 5. Obviously, God of War and Horizon. The sequels.
Yeah,
I played the first ones, both great.
Yeah,
but Spider-Man's on that list. Ghost of Tsushima's on that list, and Final Fantasy VII Remake is on that list. Although I hope it comes to Xbox at some point, because I'm trying to kind of curate the ecosystems, and I would rather stay in an ecosystem than so.
And for that, I'll be honest, like I don't know how many games that's gonna be before it finishes, if it's gonna be a trilogy or what.
Yeah.
But because I'll be honest, I kind of almost want to wait with that and play it all at once.
Yeah, but that game is so big, and like it's like the perfect amount of RPG for me. That first second, I actually re-downloaded Final Fantasy VII on my Switch because I've never finished it. Because I didn't like it when I played it the first time. Although I did play... The order of my Final Fantasy is 9, 8, 10, 7. was the order I
Yeah.
played them. So I was like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
Do you wanna-
7's the only one that I personally finished from beginning to end. Like I've watched X's and stuff play through like 10 and 10-2 and stuff like that, which I really liked those games, but I've never actually played them myself. But yeah, 7's really the only Final Fantasy game that I've literally ever finished or had the interest to finish. So
You want to hear a true confession?
yeah,
I've never played
Never
a Final Fantasy game ever.
no,
that's fine.
Yeah,
Judging by
that's
the
thing.
list you sent me for the top 5 thing, I'm like, yeah, this guy's probably not playing any anime RPG, you know.
Yeah,
I rented one once for the original PlayStation,
yeah.
and I'm pretty sure it was like 3 or 4 discs.
Mhm.
I put in one disc, and I watched a cutscene for what felt like 30 minutes, and I popped the disc out, and I was like, "New game, please." And that was
Yeah.
the most I've ever played one.
Yeah.
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 I'm sure I'm missing out,
I mean,
but
it
I'm
depends.
also
really.
okay
It
with
just
it, I
depends
think.
on what you like, you know? Play what you
Yeah.
like. Play what you like.
Yeah,
Same
yeah,
game for the past
that's the
20
thing.
years.
It's fine. Just play what
that's
you
the
like.
thing. It's
Like it.
like, yeah, if you don't like it, you're not necessarily really going to be missing out on anything, because
Yeah.
what's there to miss out on if it's something you're not interested in?
Yeah. All right, we're going to head into looking forward to 2021. We're going to name 3 games we're really looking forward to. I know we're all looking forward to Halo. I know we're all looking forward to Destiny, the Witch Queen. So I intentionally am making you guys leave those off your list, even though I know I just took away Joe's whole list.
That's my list.
I'm actually going to start this time
Okay.
because, yeah. First for me is Gotham Knights, the Batman game where Batman's dead. I think it looks really cool, and I don't know. I think Arkham Origins was pretty underrated, and I want to see what that team does next in the Batman universe. And I think playing as someone else other than Batman could be really cool. So that's my first one. Outriders is number 2. I think that game looks like generic Destiny meets The Division meets Warframe, and I'm all about it. So I will be playing Outriders when it comes out in February. And last, for Xbox stuff at least, is that Harry Potter game that I can't remember the name of.
Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah, that one. I like Harry Potter. I like shooting magic out of wands. Joe's laughing. I just saw him laugh to himself. That's how I got 2 kids. Hey.
Jesus Christ.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. See, I like Joe. I knew I liked this guy. We're on the same wavelength. So those are my top 3. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff coming that on other platforms that I'm excited for, but Also, people ask me on Twitter. I posted a list of games, and they're like, "Whoa, no Breath of the Wild 2?" I'm like, "You really think it's coming out this year?" Because I don't.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
And they're like, "Burp."
I think that's next year.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was like a new Switch announcement, and then it was something.
Supposedly,
Not that you won't
supposedly a Switch Pro is coming in April. So that's the new rumor. Which I'm glad, because my Switch is like, dude, it's ready. It's a launch day Switch. It's ready. Okay. It gets so hot that like the casing started to crack a little bit.
Oh, grapes.
Yeah.
I'm just really worried though that the rumors or like things people are talking about, like if like they do the whole like how some games for 3DS, the new version of the 3DS and the old version or whatever, some of those games
There was only
you
3
couldn't
games.
play on the
though.
old one.
There were
Yeah.
only 3 games that way though. It was
Yeah.
Minecraft, it was Xenoblade Chronicles, and there was one other game that I don't even remember what it was. So,
because the way how I feel about Breath of the Wild 2 is if it looks exactly like Breath of the Wild 1 did, but they just improve more on the mechanics wise. Like that's all they really need to do. They don't need to make it look any better. They don't need to,
My thing is they're not gonna cut off 60-something million users though for a game that size, right? They're just not.
Yeah.
I think this is more this is more of a we want third party games still to be on our platform, and we need clearly need to boost the power. To get these third parties on board.
And just be able to have people hook it up, feel like they can hook their Switch up to their 4K TVs.
Yeah. Although I have booted up some Switch games and they still look pretty decent on my TV. Although, now that I'm used to 4K, I need to.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Running Zelda at 900p at like 23 frames a second is not cutting it, guys.
I would actually rather, because I find it, because this is a Nintendo podcast, right?
Nintendo Pal Block every Wednesday.
I would rather have a better screen, not necessarily a higher resolution with more frames on a Switch, because it's so rare that I actually play on the TV.
Yeah,
I would just rather curate an awesome handheld experience with a shit ton of frames. Give me frames.
Let us change the field of view and stuff too.
Josh, what are the 3 games you're looking forward to the most?
So number 1 has to be Starfield. It's the first new IP from Bethesda since Elder Scrolls 1 back in the 90s.
Is it coming this year?
Doesn't count, sorry. If it doesn't, I'll be shocked.
What?
I really think this game is coming out this year. I personally was on the train that it was going to launch with the next gen consoles.
What was the last game that studio released? Because it wasn't Fallout 76. What was the last?
It was Fallout 76.
They did Fallout 76? I thought another studio did that, and they just helped.
Nope. That was Bethesda Game Studios in Maryland.
Bethesda, Maryland?
Yeah. Bethesda, Maryland. Yeah. It was that was the main team. Part of it, a lot of it was made by their subsidiary studios in Austin and Dallas, but no, the main studio released it because it's a Todd Howard game.
Okay.
So, yep. But this will be the first single player game that they've made since Fallout 4. It's been in the works for a long time, like since before 76. We heard about inklings of it back in like 2016, 2017 for the first time. I thought when they put out that trailer, the little teaser where they just announced the name of it a couple years ago at E3, and all they said was coming to next gen and PC. They've left it really ambiguous. We now know that's when they were starting to search for a buyer. That Bethesda themselves was, not necessarily ZeniMax, but Bethesda was looking for a buyer. My personal belief is that it's going to come out this fall, and it's going to be Xbox's, now along with Halo, it'll be their 1-2 punch. And we'll get to that in our last listener question. But yeah, I do think it's coming out this year. Starfield is going to be dope when it happens. If it's basically Fallout or Elder Scrolls in space, sign me up for it. I'm all here.
Yeah.
Let me customize my own starship. Let me, have space guns. I'm here.
Yeah.
You guys will be super proud of me that I've never played an Elder Scrolls game longer than an hour. I've never played a Fallout game. I have now downloaded Fallout 4, Fallout New Vegas, Skyrim.
Just skip Fallout.
So
honestly,
I'm
just
gonna
play
do it.
Outer Worlds.
I'm gonna try it.
Don't even bother playing.
Nope. Play Fallout.
You should.
Play Fallout.
I did not. I can't get into Elder Scrolls, but I really like Skyrim, and I realize how weird that sounds. But like,
Skyrim is the most accessible Western RPG I've ever seen.
I also downloaded Morrowind because I feel like people say that that's really good too. But also,
Fallout
I realize it's probably.
If you played Morrowind when it was new, it was good.
I
like Elder Scrolls Online.
If you don't have nostalgia for it, it is rough to go back to.
Fallout 76 is good now too.
Yeah, I think if you were to go back and play a past Elder Scrolls, I think Oblivion is the one to go to. If you're going to go back before Skyrim, I think Oblivion still holds up really, really well. And Fallout 4 is getting that 60 frames patch supposedly here in a couple weeks. So
Elder Scrolls Online. Elder Scrolls Online, I think, wouldn't be that bad though either, especially if if you're like got friends that are also like aren't really into it a whole lot, and you just want to have something fun you can play with friends as well, but get that whole experience. Like, because I had a blast for a long time when Elder Scrolls Online came out. Like, I was playing that a lot and I enjoyed it a lot, but I dropped off after a while just because I didn't really have as many friends that I was playing it with and stuff. But it was a fun game though.
My number 2 is 12 Minutes from Annapurna. Yeah. That was supposed to be out end of last year. Really, really excited for that. Been excited since they showed us the first trailer for it back in 2019. And the voice cast, James McAvoy, Daisy Ridley, and Willem Dafoe. I like anything Annapurna does. And my third one, controversial because I'm pretty sure it's not going to make it out this year, but I've had this one staked down for a while that I feel like even before the announcement, this is where it was going to be slotted at. Fable. I'm putting it down. I think Fable is an October game this year.
Really?
What else is? Yes. What else is there to say about Fable? It's Fable. Why wouldn't I be excited?
I would have pegged something like Hellblade to come out before something like Fable.
I don't think, considering we didn't even get a new trailer for Hellblade in all of 2020, in all of 2020, I don't think that Hellblade's coming until 2022. The fact that we got like a 35-second dev diary and that was it at Microsoft's summer event, and then nothing. I think that game is a lot farther out than we think, and I think that COVID has only exacerbated that. It can't be easy to start a game brand new working from home or when it's still early in development. Like, I think that you're going to see a pretty, not empty slate, but I think this coming fall is going to be a little bit emptier than we're used to seeing, and spring 2022. But I think like probably by like March of next year, it's going to be picking back up again. But I think you're really going to see the big hit from like April or May of this year, if not a little bit sooner, through the end of the year. But alternatively, I mean, a game that is going to come out this year, God willing, I've been saying it for 6 years now, Psychonauts 2.
Yeah.
If you want a more realistic prediction, Psychonauts 2 would probably be my third.
Okay. I mean, you really don't need anything else this fall if you have Halo and Starfield, though.
It's not even about needing more this fall. It's about the console itself. And like I touched on this in my 2021 like outlook for Xbox a couple weeks ago. It's about a console that doesn't have a compelling reason to buy it right now outside of your old games will look prettier. It's not like a PS5 where I go pick it up and yes, it's the best place to play Miles Morales. Yeah, I can get the Demon Souls remaster, which you can't get anywhere else. I can get Sackboy, which looks way better and plays way better. I'm going to get Ratchet and Clank here in a few months. I'm going to get Returnal, both of which are exclusive. I'm getting the promise of we've already seen Horizon running in an engine. We know God of War Ragnarok is coming. I gotta know what's coming to Series X beyond just a concept trailer, which is a lot of what we got this year. I need to see some actual gameplay of these Series X games. So, like, I'm stoked about Psychonauts, but that's coming to literally everything under the sun, minus the Switch.
Right.
And I think that's why I'm still, even though I know that Halo and I'm saying Starfield is coming, I still think they're going to be like, we're not done yet. Here you go. And I know this is our last question that we'll get to, but that's why I'm like really cementing that I think Fable will be it. I think they had Fable pegged for this long before they did the Bethesda acquisition. And it just makes sense. I mean, you want to be the place where people come to play their shooters, whether first or third, and you want to be the place where they play their Western RPGs. Why not just hit them with a barrage of games? Like, be like, hey, we know we didn't have a lot for that first 6 to 9 months because they're not going to. But here you go. We're making it up to you now. Here's a big release like every 3 to 4 weeks. We're just slamming you with another big game. Why not?
Yeah.
I'm done. Those are my 3 games.
Jesse?
Actually, 4. I said 4.
Yeah.
I took 4.
Yes. So my number 3 is Hitman 3. I really like the new Hitman games. They're just such fun, and like it's just insane to me that like, it's all like one story thing is just like one level, and it can take anywhere from an hour plus to beat, to do all the missions and get out of there. Like it's just so, like, I just love those games. So I'm definitely looking forward to more of that. My second game is Resident Evil Village. I'm really excited for that. As a person who absolutely did not like 4, 5, and 6, like 7, for like the second they went first person with these games, it just, I don't know, like it just changed everything for me, because it was such a good horror game that I could get over the fact that it wasn't the things that I fell in love with, like when I fell in love with the Resident Evil series. And so like 7 I really liked a lot, and so I'm just excited for more first person Resident Evil. And then my number one that I'm looking forward to is The Medium. Uh, I'm really excited about this game. It's intriguing. It's doing something new, and something, well, not necessarily new, but it's doing something that we haven't seen really on consoles be done. And I feel like it's just, something that's really gonna show, show what the console is capable of, on this kind of level, as far as being able to, do a lot of things at once and really use the power from it. So yeah, those are my 3. There's definitely a lot of them, of things that I'm interested in, but yeah, those are the 3 main ones.
I'm surprised you did not say Flight Simulator.
I mean, I'm definitely excited for that, but I mean, like, I'll be honest, like I definitely do. I'm glad that we're gonna be able to experience that, but I mean, and if you think about it, though, if you want to fly from somewhere to somewhere, it's literally gonna take as long as it would in real life. So, like, I mean, there's certain aspects of that game that, like, like, it seems really cool and fun, but it's gonna be a long time to to do certain things. But I mean, I am excited for that game, and I'm glad that we're gonna be getting it, and I'm excited to see what, how the how the console handles it. But as far as like actual, like, content wise, like, it's not quite up there at the top.
Gotcha.
So.
Well, Joe,
If I'm ignoring Halo and Destiny,
I mean,
which I can do, I can do it.
Scorn.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Those are the top 2 games on my list. But
Yeah,
I just figured everybody here is excited for at least Halo, and I know Josh and Joe, we're excited for Destiny. I mean, I'm sure Jesse will play it a little bit, but
yeah,
So, I'm with you. Outriders, I'm very curious about. I've been reading a lot about it recently. It seems like it might scratch a Destiny itch for a little bit to hit like a season lull. I'm excited about that. Josh, if Starfield came out this year, and if my math is correct, with Fallout 76, whatever, like they've had a recent history of announcing the game at E3 and then coming out a couple months later.
Yep.
So, as much as I would love to fight you on that, like, it's plausible. But
plausible.
Anyway, since I don't have a release date, I'm not choosing Starfield. Mass Effect, the was it Legendary Edition. I'm excited about it. I want to see what it looks like. I want to see what Dark Master looks like. I'm not going to pre-order it until I see gameplay, but I would like to. I'm very excited about that if it comes out. I'm not doing these in any order. That's fine. Evil Dead.
Yeah.
There's a new Evil Dead game.
Yeah.
I will want to play it. I really like. I've played every Evil Dead game against all odds. Most of them are pretty bad, but you hear Bruce Campbell's voice, so I will play it for that. This one looks to me more Resident Evil inspired, and if that's the case, if it is similar to Resident Evil 4, I'm all in. I would like to play that game. So Outriders, Mass Effect, and Evil Dead are my 3.
There's a game I just thought of that I keep on forgetting about because we keep on never hearing anything more about it. But I've been like excited for like, I don't know, 5 years it feels like at this point. But Biomutant is finally supposed to come out this year.
I forgot that was the game too.
Is it $400 for the special edition?
I don't know. I haven't really seen much about it. I try to go on YouTube and like find like news things and people talking about like updates of things and stuff like that, but for the longest time it was just completely silent, which I understand. I think it's like the team that's working on it, I think there's only like 20 people or something, maybe even less than that. It's like, and so like what's happening is they basically they don't want to really say anything more about it because they don't want to make any promises, and they want to be able to literally just make it, like they don't want to say anything about it until they're absolutely certain that they're going to finish it and that they've got everything done in it that they want to do. And they like, there's a lot about it that's very promising. Is like basically like from what people have said that have like kind of seen some of the stuff that the more newer things that are as far as where they're at right now, is that it could very possibly be like one of the most like just insane games that's just very, very unexpected. Like, I don't know, but that's the thing is we've kind of yet to really see much more about it, but I don't know. It like I'm just loving everything that we know about it so far, and like.
Does the special edition come with one of them rat things?
That's what I'm guessing. If it's that expensive, I'm guessing it's got to come with like a big, like
Biomutant
statue or something.
I saw that Best Buy had a pre-order up for it.
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure it was. Let's see, $3.99.
Ooh,
okay.
Which is for a new IP, which is just I get it, but that's insane. I would have a hard time paying $3.99 for like if like the Halo Legendary Edition, whatever special edition comes out. Yeah. I will have to really think about whether or not I'm going to spend $400, let alone an IP that's brand new.
I doubt the Halo one was going to be that much, though, right?
I doubt it too.
What was Halo 5?
Like around $200 or $250.
Yeah,
I think. Which is still a lot. Also, that Destroy All Humans one that was $400.
Yeah, it's like $65 now.
That's so much. Like Destiny could probably get away with a $400 edition. They would never do it, but they could probably get away with it. Like that's like the game that you're playing. That's the game that you're playing.
Yeah,
is like when you buy one of those, or you're, I don't know, Joe Moneybags.
Yeah. So
that's my brother, not me.
Oh. You have the same first name and different last names?
Same first name, different last names.
Yeah. Different moms. All right, we're going to get into our listener questions here. We have one to answer tonight. You can email the show at arsenalxpodcast@gmail.com, tweet at us at arsenalxpodcast, or join our Discord and find us in the Arsenal X channel on the Boss Rush Games Discord. This one comes from Michael Thornburg. He says, "Hi, guys. I was wondering that even though Microsoft has a lot of announced games, What games do you think will actually make it out this year? Well, we know Psychonauts and Halo, although Psychonauts is coming to everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. Josh, I'm going to go your way first because you seem to... you have the inside scoop.
I love the inside scoop.
It's his hair.
I think it's more of like I look at like production timelines and like kind of what we know about when things went into production and whatnot. The first half of this year is going to be super duper bleak. Like there's no way to sugarcoat that. If you're looking for actual Microsoft made games, they're going to be scarce, if not completely non-existent.
Bleeding Edge 2.
Oh, Jesus Christ. If Psychonauts makes it out in the first half of the year, I mean, there's no reason why it shouldn't. Tim Schafer just told Ryan McCaffrey that, yeah, we're done with the game. We're just in final polish now. I expect this to probably be an April game, like late March, early April. I think they're just waiting to see when Ratchet and Clank drops, so it doesn't completely annihilate Psychonauts. You're going to have that, and I mean, summer is when we've heard for Flight Sim, so that summer could mean any time from like May to September in video game terms.
It's probably going to be August, because that's when, like, usually when Xbox says summer, I remember when the Gears special or the Ultimate Edition of the remake of the first game came out. That was August. A lot of times when they say summer, it's usually August. But
So personally, I think it's going to be one of those, like, they're going to come out on stage at E3 and be like, "Oh, this is available today, by the way, today on Game Pass," to just drop it, because let's be real, that's how most people on Xbox are going to play Flight Sim. It'll have been out for almost a year on PC at that point. I wouldn't rule out Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition getting ported over, but again, like, those aren't your big hitters. Once you hit July, though, I think it's going to be a lot more ambitious. The Bethesda sale is going to close in Q1 or Q2 of this year. I have it pegged for like mid-March right now is when it's going to close. That happens, you're going to get all the Bethesda games on Game Pass that aren't there already. It seems like they're adding a big one each month right now, kind of gearing up for that. I think you're going to get Forza sometime late this. So Forza is what I think is the August game. I think Forza Motorsport is going to come out then. Next gen, so whatever it's called, it's going to come out then. Next gen Forza in August. I think September, if Fable comes out, or even, God, I mean, I could be completely wrong, and it's Hellblade. I think something is in that September slot, though, that'll kind of like gear you up and get you excited. October is, if Starfield happens, it will be the first week of October. Book it. First week of October, if Starfield happens, that's when it's happening. Because Microsoft's not going to want to cannibalize themselves, because they're going to save Halo Infinite for the 20th anniversary and put it out that day.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Like, it'd be stupid not to.
Almost no way that's not going to happen.
The marketing writes itself, right? Like, I mean, we could market that game on the 20th anniversary.
My conspiracy is, like, when they miss the projected date for this year, I actually think the game is done, and they literally are just polishing and adding the ray tracing. Like, I kind of wonder what 343 is going to do for most of the year. Like, sit around and twiddle their thumbs, I guess, because that game is going to be finished.
Well, they have what, 10 years of planned things for this. They're going to start working on that expansion stuff, I'm sure.
But I mean, like, so outside of like the Microsoft games, there are a ton of third-party partnerships this year. Like, alone games that we know are either coming to Game Pass on day one, or that Microsoft has the marketing rights for, are The Ascent, 12 Minutes, Phantasy Star Online New Genesis, Second Extinction, Stalker 2, which just got a really cool like
in-engine
teaser. That looks fucking awesome. Even just looking at the environment, I cannot wait for Stalker 2 if it actually makes it out this year. You've got the Medium hitting at the end of this month in like 2-3 weeks, like Jesse was saying. You've got the Gunk. That's towards the end of the year. That's from the SteamWorld team. As far as I'm concerned, Scorn doesn't exist until they actually give me a concrete release date. That game does not exist. I simply refuse to believe it. And yeah, I mean, so they're going to really ride those third-party partnerships. I feel like a lot of those are going to be in the first half of the year, those timed exclusives and whatnot. Secret Neighbor or Hello Neighbor 2 is supposed to come out, Echo Generation, like nothing that's like a big system mover, but things that are just enough to like kind of keep the hype going. Like, okay, you're in the Xbox ecosystem, keep playing these games. This fall is the second Halo drops. They're going to be like, well, our 1-year commitment for bringing over Bringing games to both Series X and Xbox One is up, with the exception of the asterisk next to Flight Sim. Games. Here you go. That's all you're getting. Like, Wolfenstein 3 could be getting announced. Like, we have no idea what's coming from Bethesda's teams, which is the most exciting part of all this.
Well, I think like from what I understand from some of the stuff that's been said recently about, from Phil Spencer about the whole Bethesda stuff, is they're ultimately, until everything's finalized, they really can't say anything.
No, legally, he cannot talk about it.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get a massive.
There's gonna be an inside
Bethesda
Xbox the day
dump.
that deal closes.
Yeah, I think we might, like they might even have their own, how they used to during E3, they'd have their own Bethesda like thing. Like, I could honestly see them doing a whole like Bethesda, focused show. Like,
the biggest question mark with Bethesda right now in regards to the Xbox lineup is what games are in development, how deep in development are they, because we know Arcane's second team is working on something that is not Deathloop and Ghostwire will both be exclusive for a year to Sony consoles, and then they'll come to Xbox. What are they working on? Machine Games has been pretty silent, with the exception of like they worked half and half on Cyberpilot and on Youngblood. So Wolfenstein 3 is probably coming soon. Like, how do those fit into Xbox's overall plan? Because they had plans going already before the Bethesda sale was even announced. Sure, they were hoping to get that, but how does that factor in? They'll still have the marketing rights, presumably, for the Witch Queen. Like, there is a lot of third-party stuff coming that'll help carry that. But how does the Bethesda sale factor in and affect all of Microsoft's plans? Like, are they going to be able to say, okay, Bethesda's almost got these games done. Let's let those come out this fall. Let's let Starfield, Wolfenstein, and like Forza and Halo do our heavy lifting. And then we can punt Fable, Hellblade, Avowed. We can punt those down farther into 2022 to give them that extra polish that we never gave to Xbox One games. And really, like, be able to say, not only do the stories and the performances in our games equal what a Sony title can do, it has the polish you come to expect from a Sony or from a flagship Nintendo game. That's what Microsoft's missing to get them over that hump. And if they're going to do it, you have to start this year with Infinite, with Starfield, with Forza. Like, those games, fucking Psychonauts, those have to have near flawless launches to get you back into that conversation. You can't have any of this Cyberpunk or Fallout 76 bullshit.
I think Halo is the big one. I think Halo
is absolutely
the one.
The big one. That is the face of Xbox. If you fuck up Halo, I'm gonna laugh at this point. Like, if we have another Halo 5 campaign, I'm gonna play it. I'm still gonna probably like it, but I'm just gonna shake my head and go, well, we tried again.
Yeah.
So bring it home.
Sorry,
bring it
Joe.
home. That's all I'm saying.
Sorry, Joe.
No, it's fine. Like, in all honesty,
Joe knows my feelings on Halo 5.
And I agree. Like, to directly answer this question, but Josh, I would say, answered the question. There's no way that I'm going to add anything that's relevant to that other than what you said. No, it's fine. I think it's good. If Halo's not received well, and I would say that could be by critics or me specifically, like, I don't see me having the interest in playing like MCC or Halo 5 like I have been like for another like 20 years. Like, it's not in me. Like, I will probably move on with my life. I don't know what I'm going to do with all this shit that I have around me, to put it in storage or something. Sheepishly put it on eBay. I won't do any of those things, but like it will close a franchise if this one is not.
And I think, Joe, you're saying it from the perspective of a lot of us who have been playing Halo for, I mean, like, most of our lives. Like, Halo, outside of Zelda and Pokemon, I don't think there's a gaming franchise I've been with as long as Halo. I played it for the first time when I was 9 years old, for God's sake. I turned 29 this year. Like, literally, since Halo came out, I have been playing this franchise. And, like, there is nothing more ingrained in my DNA of gaming other than Zelda and Pokemon. And it's like, there's never been that serious misstep with Halo until Guardians. But like I already felt myself breaking away when Reach came out. Not that Reach wasn't good, but Reach is to this day the only one I've never played and beaten on day one. I was too young when ODST came out to appreciate the things it did differently. Like going back to it now as part of MCC, I really like it. Same with Reach.
It's Destiny Light.
Yeah, for like I've come to appreciate the campaign more over time. Wasn't a big fan of it. 5 I have not come around on, but it's like I've spent basically the last 10 years kind of being disgruntled by Halo, like, so I'm enjoying my time going back to MCC, but I'm with you, and I'm with a lot of people who are like kind of their mid to late 20s. Like we grew up on Halo. We're all at the point now. We play Call of Duty, Destiny. We play these more fast-paced games, or we've even moved on to something more tactical like Rainbow Six Siege, and it's gotten to the point where this is the make or break moment, not just story-wise, but like overall game-wise. I can still enjoy the multiplayer, but I'll tell you right now, I'm playing this sucker on Game Pass. I'm not buying it because I can't have another. I bought a console specifically. I bought the Halo 5 bundle. I bought the Halo 4 bundle. Like I've bought so many fucking console bundles for these games. I can't do this again.
Yeah,
and have that disappointment staring me in the eye every time I turn on my console.
Yeah.
So
there's too much emotional stock has been placed into Halo at this point.
Yep.
For it not to succeed. Like if it flops, like it will flop hard. It will not have the opportunity like Destiny has, or I mean, I would like to name other games as a service, but like I would say like the
Siege.
Division has given Siege. Like it will not have that opportunity. It'll have a core base of fans that'll stick around, but ultimately, like Microsoft's not going to invest heavy into something.
You have had 6 years to make this the best it can be. You brought back Joe Staten. You brought back a lot of people who helped make Halo what it was. And we can't use the excuse, oh, well, Bungie didn't do it. It would have been good if Bungie did it. Like, no, it's good that they moved on to other things.
Yeah, but
it's very good.
Bungie's next Halo was Destiny. Like,
yes.
It's a different skin and everything, but that's ultimately what that evolution to them looked like.
Right.
So Destiny Bungie could not have made Halo 4.
But I mean, I also think that this, and this is going to sound really controversial. I don't like this the Halo Power Hour, but I think this has to be the end of Chief and Cortana's story for good or for bad. No matter if it's good or bad, this needs to be the end of their saga, at least for like 10 to 15 years. Put them on ice, because we've seen through ODST, we've seen through Reach, we've seen through so much of the expanded universe. You can have a compelling emotional story that players and fans will attach themselves to in this universe that does not feature Chief and Cortana as even like a side element.
To me, it's like the Star Wars thing where it's a big galaxy, small world syndrome where like everything ties back to the Skywalkers. Like
we talked about this like both on our Bethesda reactions and our Halo episode, things that we wanted to see. And I maintain, like, give me another game with Buck and Dare. Give me
we said like Gears
following Blue Team. Yeah, let
Gears
me get a third-person shooter from the Coalition or something.
Yeah,
I mean, just like Gears, where they finally shifted. They're trying to shift away from the old guard into a new guard, and and if we need something like that for it, so be it. Like. Like you said with the Star Wars stuff.
It's time.
Yeah.
It's time. I love Chief more than anything, but it's time.
I think that once you play through the story arc of the Chief campaign, something needs to happen where I need to create my own Spartan, and then I need to play with my own AI sidekick as myself.
It's gonna be an evolution of that Spartan Ops thing from Halo 4, but like deeper.
Be better than the Spartan Ops.
I mean like it's gonna be that idea where you take your multiplayer Spartan and go do missions with your friends and probably get gear or shaders.
Make me a canonical character like V in Cyberpunk,
or
where
like
I have a name,
Noble
but
6.
I create my own person,
or even like Noble 6 from Reach.
Yeah.
What if Master Chief dies? And he becomes the Cortana.
Oh Christ! I would quit playing at that point. Honestly, there are a few things that would get me to quit faster than that. I don't need Steve Downes in my armor talking to me.
Yeah, I
love you,
if,
Steve.
if this is 10 years, I need to be able to
Yeah.
be me. I want
I
to play as
need that
myself.
emotional investment in something other than Chief. Also, show me Chief's goddamn face before you kill him, please.
No, I don't need to see his face.
I do.
I like
They
it.
take his helmet off as he dies, like Darth Vader.
It's Duke Nukem.
It's the Pillsbury Doughboy underneath.
Oh god.
Okay, that's it. I'm done.
Cortana kills him, and he's like, "I want to look upon you with my own eyes." And he's like,
With my own eyes.
and right before he dies, he's like, "You're blue," and then he dies.
Good one.
I know.
I quit.
I make jokes specifically to make Josh roll his eyes.
Succeed.
I know. But yeah, I think Halo's the big one. I want to get away from Chief as much as I love Chief. You know, I think everybody here loves Chief. We have for 20 years, but again, we've loved
time.
Chief for 20 years. You know, like
We've just bought Chief things. You know, we all got. I think we all almost got the
statue, the Halo statue.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not even like we're God of War where he went away for a while and then came back. Like, we didn't even have time to appreciate him being gone. He was gone for, 4 years after Halo 3, and then he was back in 4? Like,
I don't know.
we
In,
had
in Halo 5, he was gone for 12 of the 15 missions, so.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
in a good game.
That's a good one.
Sorry, Josh.
He was replaced by the Warden Eternal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to add to that conversation. I am really looking forward to a Wolfenstein 3, though. If that's... Because, like, what Machine Games has... When did Wolfenstein 2 come out? 2017? 18?
2020... Oh, it might have been 2017.
I mean, that's 4 years on Wolfenstein, right? Like, that's gotta be ready.
I was gonna ask you guys, like, what do you like if you think this would be a possibility? Do you think there's a possibility that with their acquisition that they honestly just think about rebooting both of those franchises again?
I don't
Wolfenstein and Doom?
think you can.
Yeah, I think they're good.
Personally, with me, I think that Machine Games is going to... So, Corey, to answer your question, first off, it came out in 2017, so we would be 4 years removed from the last real Wolfenstein, because Youngblood was not a real Wolfenstein game. It was a glorified add-on, which was still... I still had fun with it, but it's definitely not as good.
Old Blood and Youngblood are like, you know, those are fine. Like, Youngblood was ridiculously hard and unnecessarily hard.
Yeah,
especially towards the end.
Old Blood is great.
Yeah.
I like Old Blood a lot. I think that Machine Games probably wants to do something different. They've only done Wolfenstein since they were created. And that's, to me, that's the more exciting thing. As for Doom, I guess it kind of depends on I can't imagine it not having plans for another Doom game. But I think that because they do have a branch in Germany. I could see them letting the branch in Germany being like, hey, you've got the Microsoft money now. We're not strapped for cash like ZeniMax was. Do your own thing. Do a small game. Do a small new franchise.
God,
it doesn't.
King.
God damn you! It doesn't even have to be like. It doesn't even have to be a shooter. Like we have an abundance of shooter franchises now. Work on something different. Like do something completely new that we wouldn't expect from id Software.
Although I would expect id to double down.
Quake. Do a new Quake.
I was about to say. I'm like, I bet id doubles down and just does Quake next instead of Doom 3.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
If they did Quake, I would like Quake. That would be a fun pivot because the last thing we got was Quake 4, for God's sake.
See, and Quake could definitely be one of those games that is made just for Game Pass, where it's like a heavy multiplayer game, and like.
I mean, that's Quake Champions right now, right? Doesn't that exist on PC?
But
already?
A good game.
Well, I don't know. I didn't even know that game came out, to be honest with you. I knew it was in beta for a while, and then I never heard anything about it again.
The only reason I knew it came out is because when the Bethesda sale got announced, I want to say it was Luke who told me. He goes, dude, put Marcus Phoenix in Quake Champions now. Yeah. He's like, put Marcus and Sheep in there, and I was like, oh shit, bring that to console and put him in it. I'd be down. Put Joanna in there. Hell yeah.
It's their arena shooter version of Killer Instinct now, where they just keep adding characters.
Put fucking Conquer in there, you coward.
Oh god.
Battle Royale.
Oh man. Wow. Speaking of bad games, Battleborn goes offline in 2 weeks, guys. You might want to start playing it.
Rip. Always remember the time that Randy Pitchford told me that I was sucking up to reporters who were correctly calling him out on Battleborn's BS.
You know what's funny though? The first podcast I did that wasn't Destiny, the first episode of the show was called Penguin in a Mech Suit, and it was about the announcement of Battleborn.
Oh, dude, speaking of mech suits, I can't believe I forgot this. Mech Warrior 5 is coming this year to consoles.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
To Xbox. Isn't it an Xbox exclusive?
The Mech universe.
Isn't it an Xbox console exclusive for now?
Yeah. It's only coming to it's coming to PC and Xbox. It's already out on PC, I believe, and it's coming to Xbox consoles. Hell yeah, it's the first Mech Warrior in like 10 years. Bring it on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I have a serious lack of Titanfall in my life right now.
I know. There's a game that I'm desperately waiting for announcement of a part 3 for. Seriously, man, I'm so ready for an actual new Titanfall game.
Well, it sounds like they're gearing up for a new IP. Sounds like we're not getting Titanfall. So
I don't know.
That
Unless
sucks.
they made a different team, but I highly doubt. Yeah.
Well, they've got
It's
Apex.
really annoying because that Titanfall 2 is so damn good. Seriously, probably my favorite game of the last generation.
Yeah. What are some I don't know. I'm excited for what Xbox has coming down the line, right? Like I all the games, like we went over the list on the last episode, right?
Honestly,
where like this is all the games that they have coming. I would like some sort of calendar now.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's something that Nintendo has actually done really well this gen, is like we have a calendar. I mean, yeah, okay, Metroid Prime 4, whatever, announced too early, but like for the most part, most of their big releases are like, hey, I mean, look at this year, like they announced and released 2 games within 3 months, right? Like 3 games actually with what was the first one they did? The Paper Mario, with Pikmin, and then with Hyrule Warriors. Like within 3 months they announced it and released it. Like I would like some sort of calendar for Microsoft to just say, hey, you know what we have announced, here's what we have, right? Like I don't know. So but does anybody else have anything to say about this before we get out of here?
Well, the only other thing I was gonna mention is just like I'm kind of really hoping that I know, like, it was kind of a lame thing, and we don't really know what to exactly what we're gonna exactly get from it, but I'm still like really hoping that the Crossfire X, like Remedy, like story,
I forgot that was coming
story stuff. Like I really hope that does well, to the point of where maybe we see Remedy do, like be inspired by that, and maybe think of growing, or like having 2 different studios or something, because like I really like what Remedy does, and like I as much as I love the Alan Wake stuff and all that we've been getting recently, I kind of would like to see what they do with something else, like outside of what they're what they're doing right now with Control and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I just think they're so talented that I just would like to see something, and I feel like this Crossfire X is kind of gonna give us a little hint of what they're capable of doing outside of just a Control type game. So
yeah. But all right, kids, we're going to get out of here. I want to thank everybody who joined us for the live show. Remember, if you're not watching us live, you can head on over to twitch.tv/BossRushGames live every Sunday to check us out. You can head over to our Discord, hang out with some friends, play some games, find people. You can follow us on Twitter at ArsenalX Podcast. Remember, if you're listening on podcast services, to leave a nice review and rate us. Give us some 5 stars. Not 4, not 3, 5. We want all 5 of them stars. subscribe to our YouTube channel, and check out all of our content on bossrushgames.com. Joe, where can we find you?
You're going to want to check those show notes for all the weird spellings of Colonel Panic.
Jesse, where can we find you?
You can find me almost everywhere as Phantom NXS.
Josh Finney.
As always, every Thursday night on the Tower Casuals and Friday on podcast services everywhere. And then you can find me on Twitter and Twitch at Josh_Finn with 2 N's. Count them. 2.
1, 2.
1, 2.
2 N's. You can find me at I am Corey HG on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me streaming here on Boss Rush Games live a couple times a week, I think now. Depends on what Nintendo Power Block's doing live on Monday nights. Figure that out tomorrow, I guess. I think that's it. I want to welcome everybody to the network who joined it this past week. Very excited to have them on board for a networking thing. So, yeah, check them out. BossRushGames.com/the network. You can check out those podcasts. I want to thank everybody so much for watching and or listening here. Like, subscribe, share, rate, and review. Be better, be kind. We'll see you next week. Goodbye, everybody.
And only buy Grand's butter croissant rolls.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.